Altcoins look absolutely disgusting. And for some people, it is going to be a very scary time because right now, all of the interest when it comes to blockchain is in Bitcoin, not necessarily altcoins. However, if you watched the video at 2 p.m. PT yesterday, you would know that there are entities that are betting on altcoins, especially altcoins that have the trifecta AI, DeFi, and RWAs. Especially the altcoins that have the spot ETFs, and especially the altcoins that will be integrated into AI agent ecosystems. So those ones will be okay. But right now, there's not a lot of focus on altcoins right now because let's face it, the markets look terrible. And most people are paying attention to AI stocks because that's where the money is. And when it comes to crypto Twitter, most of the successful traders from crypto Twitter, they came from traditional markets. They came from stocks. They came from penny stocks, and they can trade almost any market, and they're very good at it. The reason why a lot of them pivoted to crypto because there was volatility there. There was a lot of opportunity to make money. And when we're talking about markets, unfortunately, it doesn't matter that there's conflicts. It doesn't matter what's going on at the other side of the actual news story or situation. People are going to enter into markets to make money. That's what they do. And that's why it's really hard for me to kind of talk about a lot of the stories that we have along with the current conflict that's going on because it just sucks in general. Like anytime there's human strife, it sucks. But at the end of the day, the markets don't care about you. They don't care about their feelings, and they will continue to do what they are going to do when they are going to do it. In addition to that, we've patched the March 1st deadline. We do not have any type of deal done when it comes to crypto market structure. Charles H. from Cardano is going off on Ripple and Coinbase and a lot of other entities because he feels it's all pay to play. And I agree with him. You guys can go back and watch that interview that I did with him. One of the reasons why I agree with him, and we're going to get into all of that, is because I'm not seeing any change when it comes to the yield on stablecoins. If anything, blokes like Jamie Dimon from jpmorgan, whatever the heck, he's like, oh, we want to make a level playing field. You don't want to make a level playing field. If you wanted to make a level playing field, even Morgan Stanley, all the banks, if you wanted to, you would, but you don't. The banks and a lot of these large corporations and a lot of these entities, they have to physically be told by the US government what they can and can't do because they will continue to take advantage of the laws that they helped lobby and they helped create. It's a very unfortunate situation, and the only people that really lose are the American taxpayers. So let's go ahead and talk about all of the drama, what's happening in the crypto markets, what's happening with oils and metals and your moms and whatever. Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto every day. I'm WendyO. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, set alerts. And it looks like we're up live streaming on Rumble. That platform is absolutely atrocious when it comes to UI, UX. It's just so hard to navigate, but we're here. Shout out to Dale. Shout out to Lawrence. Thank you so much. Lauren says he walked by a Taco Bell and thought of me. It's in Malaysia. I would be interested in trying that. It sounds good. My daughter wants to get Taco Bell for our Friday night dinner, so we'll see how that works. Anyways, we got to give a shout out to Mr. Mike, Mr. John Legend, Mr. Bubba Davis, Cherry and Chipper and gorgeous Alexandra, and everybody else that's watching the show today, all right? And Mr. R, too. Let's go ahead and get into it. My power is low. I spent all day fighting with Kaiser yesterday. All day, filed 2 grievances, and yeah, it's been a week. My nephew's feeling better though, which I'm really excited about. He had a little bit of a tummy bug, and he just chilled on the couch and had his pretzels and bananas. I think he ate 2 bananas yesterday. I made him pastina, but he wasn't a fan. That's okay. Little buddy's back at school today, and my daughter, she's got cheer tryouts at school. Send a little prayer for her. She's a little bit nervous. I don't know why she's nervous. She's naturally talented when it comes to to dancing and rhythm and whatever rhythm I had when I was pregnant with her, she got. But anyways, let's get into the news because there's a lot of stuff going on today. A lot of things, and I'm like power low today. I've got a million calls and things. So markets are not doing great. We're down a little bit. And altcoins, this comes from CryptoQuant over here. 38% of altcoins near all-time low, which is worse than post-FTX period. And this is just a metric that they have showing how, altcoins are still under pressure, and that represents the largest regression of altcoins observed during the cycle, according to their people over there. And they're right. They're right. Altcoins are not looking good at all right now. They're not looking good. They're not looking strong. The ones that are doing well are like the top 50. Hyperliquid and XRP and even Solana, even though price is suppressed, like the price isn't looking good, but the ones with the strong fundamentals, they'll do well. And even if we take a look at Chainlink too, Chainlink is trading still at like $8 and has been doing so on the weekly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Also too, if you do want to trade with me, we are partnered with iTrust Capital. You can trade precious metals and merge over your 401ks, make an IRA, do all the things, and have a crypto portfolio. And you get $100 for signing up. QR code's up there, also one down below. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at what's actually happening, though, because it looks like $1 billion was also put into Bitcoin and crypto assets in 1 week. And this is institutional investors. So let's go ahead and read a little bit more about this. Because I think what is going to end up happening is what we're going to end up happening is the institutions will be moving in. Of course they will, but they're going to be like people like Ray Dalio and Jamie Dimon and all these people. They're going to be saying one thing, but they're going to be doing another. All right. And I have a feeling that once we're in a crazy bull market again, which will happen because crypto and Bitcoin are cyclical, they'll be like, oh, well, we invested in X, Y, and Z, and we did this, we did that with Bitcoin and various cryptos. And the reason why is because they don't have to legally disclose till a certain period of time, because that's the way the SEC and the CFTC, that's the way we have our rules. They have to disclose quarterly or do these different types of reports. So when we talk about Bitcoin and crypto being bad for bad actors, it's actually not. It's actually good because you can see what people are doing in real time, but with traditional finance, you can't. So there's that. But as far as altcoins and what's going on with this, I got to get down to my brief over here. But institutional investors added $1 billion to crypto funds last week. This ended 5 weeks of outflows. Bitcoin ETFs led with $881 million. Ethereum saw $117 million, and Solana topped altcoins with $53.8 million. No XRP on the list, but again, XRP is an incredibly popular spot ETF. And money is flowing in when it comes to the ETFs, traditional financial instruments, not to the actual coins themselves. So it's a little bit different. As far as spot Bitcoin ETFs, post $458 million in net inflows as institutions buy into global instability. All right. IBIT led with $263 million. Fidelity and Grayscale Bitcoin ETFs also gaining, and Ethereum, Solana, and XRP saw net inflows. And Bitcoin positive sentiment hit its highest level since February. This is according to Cointelegraph. And one of the things I want to, there's two pieces of information I want to talk to you guys about before we get into some of the other things that are happening, okay? I put out a video yesterday about the banks and what they're saying. Morgan Stanley filed for the bank charter. They want a custody, staking, trading with crypto, but not to retail, just the big guys. But we also included Pantera's Dan Moorhead on crypto and AI. He says the top AI stocks are trading about 20% above their long-term trend. Crypto is trading about 50% below its long-term trend, lower. He says that he sees crypto as a very affordable relative to AI. And crypto is near its 7% versus 8-year trend, which is about as cheap as it gets. 93% of the time, crypto is traded higher than current levels, and Bitcoin holders over any 4-year period in history have made money with a multi-year view, and he says this is a strong entry point. Now, Grayscale also came out and said AI and blockchain complement each other. They said stablecoins and tokenized assets are growing with regulatory clarity and company support. So what does all this mean? Yes, right now the trend is in AI stocks because there's money to be made, but at the same time, I think that crypto is gearing up to it's gearing up to be integrated with AI. And that's why I've told you guys, the last 2 years, AI, DeFi, and RWAs, which that's like what Hedera does. A lot of these projects that are able to weave in and out nicely within that trifecta will do well. And yeah, top AI stocks are trading really high right now. And again, AI is an incredibly speculative sector just because it's so new. That's why AI stocks are great for traders, people that are long-term investors. You might want to talk to a financial advisor, but realistically, he is right. Crypto is trading about 50% below its long-term trend. And it's not like people are focused on AI because that's where the money is. But at the same time, if you're able to navigate through the markets and find solid projects that complement AI and agents and within those little economies, you will do well. You will do well. And the fact that Grayscale is always a voice of reason in these types of markets, but they came out and they said AI and blockchain complement each other. Stablecoins and tokenized assets are growing with regulatory clarity and big company support. Hello. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple stuff to understand. Also, too, if you wanted to know, my shirt is vintage. I think it's from the 70s. I think. Not 100% sure. But it's that polyester material. The tag is completely destroyed, but I like it. It's like $7 at the thrift store. Great quality. I need to get my behind down to the thrift store because I got to finish decorating. And my desk finally came for the other side, which you guys will never really see. So I got to put that together this weekend. Lo doesn't want to help me, but that's okay. So I'm going to put that together this weekend, and then I should be able to start hanging stuff back up on my office. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back into it and see what else is going on. There's a lot. Now let's talk about the big debate, the big drama between Cardano and Charles H. and XRP and Ripple and yourmom.com. So let's go ahead and get into that, all right? We covered all this stuff. Make sure you guys smash the like and push us out. This definitely helps support me. Shout out to Julian, shout out to Kenny, and shout out to everybody else watching the O Show. So let's get into the drama, because why not? And I'm over drama too. I'm done with it. I hate drama. I don't have patience for it. I don't have time for it. I just want to live a very normal, quiet life. I want to chill. I want to drink my wine. And that's that. That's all that I really want to do, because I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over the drama. I don't have time. I don't have patience. Power low. That's why I want to move to Orange County and be bougie. Anyways, starting to think he doesn't like the bill. Let's listen to Mr. Charles H. And if you watch my interview with him, he said the same thing. But hear what he says.
The whole industry dies. That's what they're going to do. So no, a bad bill is not better than no bill, because when we had no bill, we had ambiguity and we could win court cases. When you have a bad bill, you don't have any ambiguity.
Only thing I disagree with him so far is that, like, I understand what he's saying about ambiguity and winning court cases. However, when you have the anti-crypto army, it made it next to impossible to win anything. It just made companies bleed money.
You lose every court case. And Scary Gary 2.0, it's not just a single guy in the storm drain going, hiya, Joji. No, God, man, he's coming over to your house now. He's showing up on a bus of Scary Garys, and everybody's fucked. So it's just an egregious insult, what they've done. And it's sour and sour and sour. And don't take my word for it. Just read the goddamn bill and see the latest thing. Because everybody likes to personalize this. The minute I say this, the XRP people show up. Oh, Charles is bad. He's so bad. Why are you so anti-XRP? This has nothing to do with XRP. Nothing at all. At all. Not all. This has to do with the industry and basic standard definitions. Do you want to hand to the same Securities Exchange Commission that sued you for the last 5 years total power of the entire space? That's not what it does. Read the bill.
He's exactly right. And that's why, like, when I did bring up and again, no shade to you, the XRP army, but you have to admit what it is. And the people that are here out the side of their neck, well, we just want the bill done. We don't care about the yield on stablecoins. That's because you're rich. Okay, that's because you're rich. It's because you have money. That's because you have capital. That's because you're a accredited investor. Okay, retail deserves something. Like retail, we're getting screwed. We're going to war. We pay high taxes. Hell, I saw someone post a TikTok the other day. They're like, it's so expensive in California. Like, I'm surprised they don't charge us to breathe or taxes to breathe. Yes, they do, baby. Yes, they do. Why do you think we have these high gas taxes? Why do you think there's taxes? We are taxed on everything. It's like, God forbid we get a little bit of extra money here and there. Right now, I got some capital locked up on I think it's iTrust, and I'm getting $150 a month. Woo! Or I've made $160 a month, something like that. Hey, that's a couple Baja Blastings with my baby at Chili's. We go to Chili's and we literally get the Mott squares. We call it Baja Blasting because it's just ridiculous. Like, you have to have fun in life, okay? But the moral of the story is, like, if an American wants to be able to get an extra $160 or whatever it is, let us get it. But the bill is not a great bill. It doesn't have the developer protections, no yield on stablecoins, and the banks are continuing to push for it. And the reason why Ripple doesn't necessarily fighting for retail is because it's not about their business model. So again, it's not a bad thing that Ripple's acting the way that they're acting, but at the same time, it's important to note they're going to do what's best for their best interest, regardless of who got them to the top. And the way that retail makes money with XRP is with XRP, not with any of the other stuff. So he's right. He's 100% right. 100% right. Now, this clip over here, he says that Clarity gives XRP a free pass. I don't know about. I want to listen to this with you guys because I didn't hear this one yet because I was a little bit rushing this morning. Let's see.
Security by default. And because it looks like XRP might get a pass and be one of the grandfathered in, including Cardano, in this whole process, I guess we just have to pass a horrific trash bill that makes everything a security by default, and it creates attack vectors through bureaucratic nonsense for the SEC to destroy all future American cryptocurrency projects. And also, there's nothing in this for DeFi. Nothing. Uniswap doesn't get anything. Prediction markets don't get anything. Armstrong can't even get his yield-bearing stablecoins. This is not a good bill.
Yeah, he's 100% right. Remember, and again, this is not an attack on XRP, but the XRP army is going to think that. They're going to act that way because some of y'all are sensitive. And you guys know, if you come to my channel, I'm going to give it to you because I don't care. Okay. I say what I want. That's the type of household I was brought up in. And I'm going to keep that same energy and that same behavior consistent. I will be respectful. But a lot of time you guys get so upset when we're having conversations about what's actually happening. XRP was one of the first crypto assets to be determined not a security on the secondary market, because they had to spend hundreds of millions and whatever the hell dollars to fight against the egregious lawsuit. Okay? So the current bill is not a good bill. And this really has nothing to do, he's not calling out XRP. He's just saying, hey, blah, 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 blah. Everything else is going to be a security, and he's not wrong. God gave you, not only did God give you a brain, God created the cell phones, but God also gave you AI, so use it to your advantage. Self-educate. If you can't understand a legal document, which that's a whole nother dilemma, is the fact that all these legal documents are not written in plain English and they're like thousands of pages, hundreds of pages. Use AI, get a breakdown. I use it every day with Grok on X. I'm really digging this shirt. It's fun. Anyways, there's that. There's more stuff. All right. Now we got Mr. Joel Katz on the bill today. Ripple had a lot of opportunities where we could have advocated only for ourselves to the detriment of those who would follow us. We absolutely try as hard as we possibly can not to do that. I don't think we have ever done that, but I also think that we would do that if we had to. We are at least a little selfish, but it's totally fair for people who think we have done that or are trying to do that to hold us accountable. So basically they're going on about Charles, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to keep it clear and consistent with you. He says exactly what I says, but more eloquently. We have never just advocated for ourselves, but in some cases we might have to. All right. I appreciate what Ripple did for the entire crypto industry when they were unjustly attacked by the SEC, because they could have said, you know what? We're just going to go. Oh, I have the hall light on. That's why. We're just going to go. We're just going to move overseas, because they're very much loved and accepted legally in Dubai and in Southeast Asia. They could be like, I'm not dealing with this. But they stood and they fought. They really fought for the entire crypto industry when they were unjustly sued by the SEC, and they stood up. And I love that for them, and I appreciate it. But at the same time, Joel's very honest here, is that we are going to do, we weren't just acting selfishly, but we could if we want to. And he's not wrong for saying that, because he's a businessman and Ripple is a business, and they are here to make money. And again, that's one of the big problems we have in America, is we have a lot of these large companies. They only think about ourselves, which is like the drug market and everything else is the way it is. But you can't fault them, and you can't fault Ripple, and you can't fault XRP. You can't fault companies that are trying to stay afloat. It's a hard reality, but the markets don't care about you or your feelings. They don't care about conflicts. They don't care that you were poor. They don't care you were born into X, Y, and Z. It's either you work hard or you don't. I also saw a very interesting, there's some interesting topics being floated around right now regarding Gen Z and the current hiring market. And a lot of Gen Z are getting fired because they don't show up on time, they don't dress professionally, and there's a lot of things that they're missing. And I actually understand that. It's not taking away from the way the economy is right now, because the total economy sucks. But at the same time, it's like there are certain societal norms you have to assimilate into. All right. And if you're not able to read the room and understand that, doesn't matter if you're autistic, doesn't matter if you got autoimmune, doesn't matter. You have to figure it out. Hell, if I did, you can. But just basically, and it's not discounting like what's happening, but at the same time, it's like you got to get in where you fit in and you got to work at it. And that's kind of what Ripple and XRP is doing. And you got to focus on yourself. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. So there's ongoing battles about this and whatnot. But as far as the Clarity Act, March brings another shot at the Clarity Act markup as stablecoin talks drag on. So we're into March. March 1st is passed. And there's not been a compromise announced. Negotiations are still ongoing, and banks and crypto firms are not fully aligned, especially over interest rewards and staking on stablecoin balances because they hate retail. Banks want any lending or staking to be active and time locked. Just shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't. Who cares? Crypto firms seek flexibility, and they should. And this is the thing. The way that the current economy is in America, people are getting fired. There's volatility. There's all kinds of insanity. You shouldn't be required to lock something up for 5 years. You should have the flexibility. If you want to lock it up for 5 years and get a little bit more, cool. But you should be able to say, let's say, for example, you lock it up for 5 years, you get 5% yield. If it is not locked up for 5 years, then, you lower it. But it's like the economy is so hard, especially for the average working American that can't even afford food, shelter, and energy. Come on. The banks are being egregious and they're being disgusting. And that's what Charles is talking about. The White House favors agency rulemaking to finalize deals, and the OCC signaled tighter limits on stablecoin rewards. That's why Morgan Stanley says, hey, let me go and file, baby. Banking Committee may hold a markup mid to late March, giving stakeholders more time to resolve remaining issues like DeFi and ethics. Stakeholders say progress is being made. Both sides are nearing a deal, even neither is fully satisfied. They're not nearing a deal. JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon says stablecoin yields should face bank-style rules, calls for a level playing field. He's a POS. He really is a piece of shit. Really, really, really. He argues yield-paying stablecoins should meet capital, liquidity, FDIC, and AML requirements. Yeah, they already do. You kind of have to do those on crypto exchanges. But FDIC, and the whole FDIC argument is stupid. And the reason why the FDIC argument is stupid is because, God forbid, there's an issue in your bank. Y'all think that you're going to get paid out first? You with your $500 balance, your $1,000 balance, even your $50,000 balance, God forbid something happens to the bank, you really think you're going to be able to file that insurance claim first? Did we not learn anything with the fires in California? Did we not learn anything with insurance claims? If their friends are applying before you, their friends are going to get there first. And we don't even have enough capital to cover the deposits at all for everybody. So yeah, it would be nice if there's some sort of FDIC for crypto, but in reality, even the FDIC that we currently have set up, it's not even good. It's not even a good deal. It's not. He suggests rewards tied to transactions are acceptable, but idle balance interest is not. He says banks want a level playing field to prevent stablecoins from pulling deposit from the banks. But recently, it wasn't that. You guys weren't worried about the competition. You guys weren't worried about deposits fleeting, but now you are. Make your minds up, okay? The money that you guys are paying for the Liz Warrens and the lobby groups you have, keep it consistent, please. Because I'm poor and stupid and I can't keep up with all your bullshit. And you know what? We want to give rewards on money that's being moved around. Guess what? Some Americans don't have that luxury. We don't. Dealing with our healthcare, dealing with work, dealing with our kids, managing a house, managing a marriage, managing extracurricular activities. Like, some people don't care. Some people aren't chronically online moving stable coins around, okay? God forbid a hardworking American family has $2,000 in their savings and they want to earn yield on stable coins, Mr. Jamie Dimon. God forbid. No, that's too much. It's too much after the hardworking middle class, upper, lower, and middle that keeps you in your fancy pantsy stuff over at the banks with our deposits. God forbid we want a little bit more than 0.03%. Seriously. But these are the people that are in charge of making the rules. These are the people that are paying the big money to have a seat at the White House to decide what type of rules are put onto your money. And this is why Bitcoin was created for the people, by the people. So you have the choice to transact how you want to transact with your money. And the cool thing about Bitcoin is that if you do something naughty, they can catch you. But if you do something naughty with cash, they can't. It is the perfect system that the ivory towers over in traditional finance hate, because they view you as poor and stupid, and they want to continue to profit off of your backs and have you not say anything. Bloomberg reports hyperliquid's record open interest in futures linked to traditional assets. Hyperliquid is absolutely slaying it. If you are not paying attention to hyperliquid, you need to be. Now, the COP record says that gold falls, silver falls, oil falls. It's all the thing. All right. This is the thing. This is what's going on. Okay. Big global funds are on track to shatter records, with 148 billion in annualized inflows so far, surpassing last year's, all the paper, this and that, and whatever. We're going to see a lot of volatility when it comes to oils and precious metals and all of it because of the insanity happening. Okay. And the thing is we're going to continue to see more and more conflicts. I remember when it happened, was I in high school or junior high? I remembered the exact day. We have events like that happening, similar but not, globally. And things are just going to get volatile. Things are going to continue to get volatile. Things are just going to be that way. So you're going to see things fluctuate a lot, and either get with it or you don't, or get left behind. I mean, I don't know what to say. But moral of the story is there's going to be a lot of this. And understanding debasement and how that works is important. Now, we talked about that. Yeah, Bitcoin sentiment is higher, which is good. We talked about Dan Morehead. Talked about Grayscale. This one is important. Remember the CBDC ban that didn't make it into the National Defense Authorization Act and DAA last year? It just resurfaced in banking GOP's 21st Century Road to Housing Act released minutes ago. Specifically, it bans a Fed from directly or indirectly issuing a retail CBDC to consumers through intermediary, but provisions sunsets in 2030. What does this mean? Let's read a little bit more about it. Because remember I told you not to believe what they said about stablecoin, or about CBDCs, that we're getting one. They out the side of their neck. We're not getting. Yeah, we are. We 100% are. Just might take a little bit of time. Go back, use AI to scan the channel. You'll hear me say this since 2020. The CBDC ban is a 2-page section in the 303-page housing bill. Why is a CBDC ban in a housing bill? Why? Why is it a 2-page section in a housing bill? Why doesn't it have its own bill? Because it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you align with. They're both scumbags. They both don't care. Provision allows for private, permissionless dollar demonetized digital currencies that will preserve privacy. White House supports CBDC restrictions, citing privacy and liberty concerns, but it temporarily bars the Fed from issuing a CBDC before 2031. So they wanted to make sure that they were out of power, and then they were going to deal with this again in 2031. So you're getting a CBDC regardless of what President Trump said. These people are very, 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 very smart, and they think you're stupid. So what do? Well, you take a step back, you fact check me, and then you write to your public servants and say, I don't want this. That's exactly what you do. Or don't. I don't care. It's up to you. But they lied. They lied. This is from Brian Armstrong. You have zero control over where you're born, yet billions of people in the world are shut out of accessing financial tools because of it. Finally, this is changing with crypto. Getting access to sound money, loans, stocks from your phone anywhere in the world is foundational progress. was my thoughts on this. Where did it go? Oh, here. I said, you have zero control over what income bracket or caste of society you were born into. Everyone deserves the same access to their money, regardless of wealth status. Bitcoin does fix this, and it does. So I appreciate Brian's stance here and whatnot. But again, where are we advocating for retail? Because we're not. In America, we have the accredited investor law. There's no one is trying to remove that. No one is trying to revise it. Okay? Hell, if somebody wants to sponsor me, I will park my behind up there, just as long as it doesn't interfere with my kids' cheer tryouts. But I'll park my behind up there. Because what's happening is like you're making it seem like everything is like you're fighting for the people, by the people. But the thing is, you don't get the same access to your money that everybody else does because if you're born poor. And yes, people can work themselves out of poverty 100%. But is everybody like, this is the thing. If people, for example, there's a new trend on social media, blue collar workers, be a blue collar worker, you don't need college. My baby daddy's a blue collar worker and it's not easy. You're not making $180 an hour. You're not booked for 3 weeks out of the month. The wear and tear on your body when the market's slow, there's all kinds of things. Okay. But someone might just want to be a blue collar worker. And hey, there's no shame in that in any way, shape, or form. I love you guys. I respect you guys. I think you guys do awesome work. You guys power America. But the reality of the situation is some people are not cut out to run hedge funds or it's not in their cards to become millionaires and to fit the accredited investor standard because they're just happy doing blue collar work or they're happy at McDonald's or they're happy being a stay-at-home mom. But just because they don't decide to become rich, or it's just not in their cards, doesn't mean that they should be excluded from the traditional financial system. I mean, if they're stupid and they don't have the literacy, then okay. But if they can pass tests, be like, hey, I'm smart. I know a lot of stay-at-home moms that practice self-education. They can be like, okay, I could take a test. But that's what's happening. This is what's happening. These are the same people that are advocating for you. All right? I just got power low. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to get going. I am sending you guys love and light. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. I got to make more videos and I have to deal with more drama because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? All right. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Bye, babies. And shout out to Neil. Oh, wait, hold on. Bubba gave 10 more memberships. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Shout out to Bubba. Bubba's awesome. He just gifted John, Philly, the Link Detective, 8891, Michael, King Holdcorn, X-Ray Pays, Unhinged, Michael, Mikey, Jose. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I'm sending you all love and light. I know I'm harsh, but it's part of my culture. Okay. I just want you guys to do best for yourselves. And I also too posted on my YouTube. I posted on the post. I think it's Claude or OpenAI, one of them. They have a free program, a free course that you can take. So do that. Anyways, sending you all love and light.